guys. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you. And look at the stuffed peppers that we have here. Now, that cheese is running everywhere. And let me check something real quick. Yeah, it's stopped. There we go. So thanks for stopping back in, guys. I appreciate you. The stuffed peppers have been cheesed and melted, and they smell out of this world. They are smelling really good, and I guess we should take a little taste tester here. Let's see here. What can I get that out? Maybe this will work. Let's get a small one here. Let's do a red one. Red ones are kind of pretty, if you know what I'm saying. Look at that. Now this here's all scratch cooking, guys, except for I bought jarred sauce, and I don't think you can hold that against anybody. Now that red pepper is a little bit sweeter than the green. I will say that. It's not just aesthetics, because they do cost a little more for the red ones, but I just thought it would be a nice touch. That is really good. That is so good. I know there's not a bunch of carbs in there, but I'll tell you, I sure enjoy them this way. They're almost, the only thing that keeps them from being clean keto is there is like 1% sugar in that sauce. That's not bad. You can eat these without guilt, without worry. That is basically the flavor profile of lasagna. It is so good. It is so good, I'm telling you. You've got to try this little recipe. It's not the most expensive thing you've ever made in your life. I'm quite certain of it. And if you want to put carbs inside of it, you could put rice in it, or you could have some noodles on the side, or boil some noodles and maybe some macaroni with the mixture before you put it together. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. But I tell you, I sure enjoy them like this. It gives me the taste of spaghetti without having all the noodles. So, there you go. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And I don't use the word amazing lightly, I'll tell you that. If I tell somebody they're amazing, they are amazing. Hello everybody, thanks for stopping into the Hungry Popper. I really appreciate you stopping in. I really enjoy these opportunities to cook for you, make recipes for you. And so without further ado or don't, let's get started. So what I'm going to put together today for you is my version of stuffed peppers. Now this is not your grandma's version where it was hamburger and rice and all that. I'm not putting any rice in it. I'm just I'm going to do the peppers. I got onions, mushrooms. I've got some, I'll go ahead and say the name. I got some Graziano sausage, and I've got ground beef. I got this skillet, my 12-inch cast iron skillet warming up here. Now a little story, a little backstory. I just bought this, last fall I bought it. It and the lid was, I thought, kind of expensive. But see, what happened was, there was a time when someone in my household did not appreciate cast iron, and she had stashed them on a shelf in the garage. We were living out in Ohio, and I was doing corporate training for a company called Sterling Jewelers. Anyway, so I went out there to get an iron skillet because I wanted to use one, and my 12-inch, I got it off the shelf, and I lost the grip of it, and that skillet hit the concrete floor, and it landed like right on the side where the spout is, and that thing sounded like a gun going off, and pow, and the side broke out of that skillet. So it was all those years. Now that was like back in 2005, something like that. Anyway, that's why I had to buy a new skillet, because I wanted to replace that. After I separated from her, I felt I needed a 12-inch skillet. So there it is. That is a fairly new Lodge 12-inch cast iron skillet, and I do have a lid for it over there. I don't really need the lid. So let's go ahead and get started here, and I'll have some stories for you later. So stay tuned if you would, and this is going to be really good, and it's going to be unusual. This is, like I say, this is not your mother's or your grandmother's stuffed peppers. It is not that at all. So let's go ahead and that skillet burger and a pound of Graziano's, and we're just going to mix the two and go from there. So she's sizzling away already. Get rid of that. And we might as well get the Graziano's going. And now, if you're not from the Des Moines area, you may not be too familiar with the Graziano's brothers down there in the hood. They make it's a family business, and they make really good Italian sausage. Now this is good stuff. So we're gonna cook it all together anyway. So, and anytime you got a mixture of pork and beef together, that kind of rings the bell for me in terms of a recipe like this. So let me get rid of this and wash my hands just real quick here. Yeah, real quick. Yeah, real quick, I got rid of that. So I've got the mushrooms. I bought those whole, and they're sliced. I got a small onion sliced. As soon as that's ready for that, we'll drain off whatever grease there is. Now, I'm not confident there'll be a lot of grease, because that hamburger is generally pretty good. So let me find my fancy stick from the Mark over there. I'm kind of learning to really like that. I think this needs to be turned down just a fine hair. And we're going to get it cooked up here. As soon as this is 80%, probably 80% done, we're going to add the onions in. So, and we're gonna just give this a good mix. I like to cut that Graziano's mostly because hamburger is, it's not a lot cheaper, but I just feel like I don't need that much of that sausage at one time. So there you have it. So we're gonna give her a good cooking up here. See, that's why I got this skillet out, because it's nice and big and it's fairly deep, and we can get done what we need to get done with this 12-inch skillet. Now, I was thinking about the next size up, which was, I think, if I remember right, it was 13 or 14 inches, and I stood there and thought about it, and actually left the store. I was over at the farm store over here, and went back later and bought this one, because I had to think about, do I really need like a 14-inch iron skillet? I thought, no, I don't need a 14-inch iron skillet. If I gotta cook that much stuff, I'll just do more than one batch. So there you have it, and it was more money to do that. So this one suits my needs just fine. It's a very good, Lodge makes a fine product, and I know there are others that are more expensive, and maybe they're better, I don't know, but this one has the handle on the front to assist, handle on the back so you can, you know, so there you have it. So let's it's cooking up fairly quick here, which is a good, there is a lot of meat, so we're gonna brown this up, and if we have to, we will. And we, of course, will save some for the sandwich we're going to do, because that is probably what I'll have for my meal later on. Kind of honestly, there's not a lot. There is not a lot. Look in that top can. There is really, there's some, but there is not a lot of grease in that, in the pound of burger and the pound of the pound of Graziano's. So I have a small onion here. Let's go ahead and get that going, because it's pretty strong as it is. I really wish I could find here those wonderful sweet onions that I was buying when we were down in Nashville. Now, I don't know if my friend Dave from Nashville watches the videos, and I haven't talked to him, but I should ask him, should call him and ask him. I don't know if he's watching or not, but he would know all about those sweet onions from down there. Now, I don't know, I mean, some of them are called Vidalia, and the ones that I like better are sweeter than the Vidalia. And I can't find them up here. We were down there about a year and a half, about 20 months or so. And so in my former occupation, I was a bench jeweler. Still have the skills, but I make a little better money doing what I'm doing right now. We'll just see how this all goes. So, there we go. We got the onions mixed in there. It's doing well. So, let's see here. Maybe we should we got the onions well on their way. Let's put that right there, and let's go ahead, and we're going to need the lid for that skillet. So if I remember right, the lid cost about as much as the skillet did. And I would have skipped it, except, you know, you need a lid. A lot of times you need a lid. So let's put the mushrooms in there and get them steaming down. So they'll do some shrinking. They're pretty quick. Let's make sure we're all separated and all that. There. We'll be right back. Okay, let's check her out and see what she looks like here. Let's use the bowl I had the onions in. Let's just get some of that out of there for the other project here. Let's see, we'll take some out of there. We wouldn't necessarily with some more meat. So here I have a store brand of your typical marinara spaghetti type sauce. So just want to inspect this here, see what the grease level is. I think we're all right here. That'll flavor it up nice. So let's put that right there. Let's go ahead and warm this up. So here's what I'm going to do. I want all the sauce out of this jar, so I put a little bit of water in here. Like that. And just dump it back in there, so we're not wasting. So we are not wasting what we paid for. There we go. Put some fire back under that there skillet. And I tasted that sauce. I'm really not in the mood to, I'm not thinking I need to mess with the spice level. I think it'll be just fine. And that jar was on sale, so there you go. There's that. Let's have us a little taste here. That'll work. That will work, I'm telling you, that'll work. So let's put that back on there, bring it back up to speed here, mop up our sauce that got away out of the pan there. That tastes pretty good, I'm telling you that. So I'll be back with you before you know it. So back in the early 90s, lived in Black Hawk, South Dakota. Same place, basically same metro area that I grew up in. And of course, you probably remember from the last video, or real previous video, that I had friended a neighbor, an eccentric neighbor that loved to fish, and he was very good at it. I will say he was a very good fisherman. And I learned a lot from him. His name was Jim Rippey. And I learned a lot from him, but I'll tell you what the big deal was with Rip. Rip would lie for the sport of it. And he'd tell you a fib just because he could. But, I mean, nevertheless, you learned to pick up on that, and you knew what he was telling you was bullshit. So, some of it was pride. One time I was over there at his place. He was right next door. I was over there at his place, and he's telling me this big, long, fabricated story about how some guy picked his pocket, stole his wallet, and didn't have any money, and also got his groceries stolen out of the back of his pickup and this and that. So what it amounted to, if you read between the lines there, he's too proud to say he didn't have food. He didn't have money for food. I kind of picked up on that, and I had just made a pot of chili at the house. And so I didn't say much. I just got up and left, and I went over to the house, and I got that pot of chili and took it over to him. I said, "Here you go, Rip, have supper." You know, so that is one of the situations with him. Was, you know, sometimes it was he would lie to save face or to save pride or whatever. But you could see he wasn't a very good liar. You could see right through his stories. But he had a heart of gold, but you really had to pay attention to what he was saying. He's also very competitive. I just remember this one farm pond we were on one day, and we were fishing for bass, and I was trying to fish away from where he was fishing because, you know, he would do anything he could do to foil you, so to speak. So I was in the front of the boat, he was in the back, and besides the fact that I had went back to cast and my lure had caught his hat by the mesh, and I flipped his hat out into the pond, and he goes, "Hey, hey, hey." So that was real funny. But anyway, so after the fishing resumed, after I reeled in his wet hat, I started casting totally away from where he was fishing, and I started just slaughtering the bass out of this little hole. I mean, just fish after fish after fish after fish after fish. And next thing you know, he pulls up the anchor and moves the boat, because I was out fishing him and he didn't want that, so we had to move to a different spot. He says, "You're just knocking the hell out of one of that hole over there, ain't you?" And he pulls up the anchor and away we go. I thought, well, it's a nice guy, you know. But anyway, so there's other stuff, and he's not the only guy I fished with back in the day. Now my other fishing buddy, Aaron, he's passed away. Well, so is Rippy. But Aaron's passed away a few years ago, late in the year. He had heart trouble and whatnot. And, he went home, and we'll leave that as it is. So anyway, you have a great day. Thank you so much for stopping by and letting me bend your ear and cook for you. It's just a grand time for me to do this. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if I've accomplished something for you, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. So 80% of my viewers are not subscribed. So I would appreciate it if you'd subscribe. It helps my analytics out a lot. And you have yourself a wonderful time, wonderful day. Okie doke, so that's pretty well where it needs to be. And we have a ladle or something here. Let's see. We're just going to ladle this mixture into bell peppers. The oven, by the way, is up to temperature at 350. So what's going to happen is I'm going to bake these off for about 30 to 35, and we'll see how they're doing. And pull it out, and then put some cheese in there. On it, I should say. We got a lot of this stuff here, so we might put that meat back in here and use that for other things, other meals. Let's see here, we'll see how it goes. So this is almost keto. Now there is sugar in this sauce. Now I looked, and it says it's at the end of the list of ingredients, and it says you're looking at like 1%, up, you know, no more than 1% for sugar. So I have a couple of cans there that don't list any sugar as far as that goes. So I knew I had this jar here at home. It's the store brand. So I wasn't too worried, but I stood in the aisle and read the list of tomato products on the various cans, and you know, there's other things besides tomato sauce in that can. So got the power shut off there. And look at the stuffed peppers that we have here now. That cheese is running everywhere. And let me check back in, guys. I appreciate you. The stuffed peppers have been cheesed and melted, and they smell out of this world. They are smelling really good. And I guess we should take a little taste tester here. Let's see here, what can I get that out? Maybe this will work. Let's get a small one here. Let's do a red one. Red ones are kind of pretty, if you know what I'm saying. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. So what I will do, as soon as these cool off, I will put these each one in a baggie and freeze them, and I'll take them to work with me, and I'll have probably do a couple of them a week. So I got 1, 2, 3, I don't know, probably have one at home, probably 3 weeks worth of stuffed peppers here. So let's go ahead and have us a taste. Now they're going to be pretty darn hot, but look at this, guys. Look at this, and they are done. Look at this, they are done. Oh my word. Now this here's all scratch cooking, guys, except for I bought jarred sauce, and I don't think you can hold that against anybody. Now that red pepper is a little bit sweeter than the green. I will say that. It's not just aesthetics, because they do cost a little more for the red ones, but I just thought it would be a nice touch. That is really good. That is so good. I know there's not a bunch of carbs in there, but I'll tell you, I sure enjoy them this way. They're almost, the only thing that keeps them from being clean keto is there is like 1% sugar in that sauce. It's not bad. You can eat these without guilt, without worry. That is basically the flavor profile of lasagna. It is so good. It is so good, I'm telling you. You've got to try this little recipe. It's not the most expensive thing you've ever made in your life. I'm quite certain of it. And if you want to put carbs inside of it, you could put rice in it, or you could have some noodles on it. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. But I tell you, I sure enjoy them like this. It gives me the taste of spaghetti without having all the noodles. So there you go. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And I don't use the word amazing lightly, I'll tell you that. If I tell somebody they're amazing, they are amazing. Anyway, thank you for giving me the opportunity to make these recipes for you. You have a good one, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye, guys. See you.